3, 2.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dive Bomb Industries. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
That was way too aggressive.
Was it?
Way.
It's Tuesday.
You got to bring that shit down, bub.
We've got 10 days of not doing a podcast. It's like a vacation for me.
You got to bring it down.
You fired up? Get on an airplane in less than 24 hours, bud, with your family.
Oh, boy.
You don't sound excited at all.
Can't wait.
Bahamas.
Can't wait.
What are you going to do in the Bahamas if you see a girl topless? How are you going to explain that to the boys?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of, it can be an awkward conversation. I had it with
She
Zach.
didn't want tan lines.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer. All right.
Easy enough.
With us today from, I'm assuming you're in Arkansas, home of Bill Clinton. Lucky us. Mr. Ashur Tolliver with Dive Bomb. Hello, Ashur. How you doing?
Okay. How are y'all?
I want to ask you a question that everyone's afraid to ask you.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to ask you because we're friends and I like you and I've known you a long time. You are one of the more polarizing people in the waterfowl world.
Why are you polarizing?
Let me finish. Ashur catches a lot of shit on social media because he debates with people more than I probably would when they have something negative to say about you.
Not as much as I used to. Not as much.
You're
as I
learning.
used to.
You're learning. What?
Well, I'm running out of time too. As the company goes, responsibilities grow. You ain't got as much time.
Well,
man.
and your family's grown too. So it's like, not only that, it's just you're busy on the home front a lot more than you were back in the early days.
Yeah, and we were still fighting for a lot of relevancy too. You want to prove your point. Make sure stuff that's being seen is accurate. These days, not that we're where we want to be, but you don't have to fight as hard when you've got other people that know you're legitimate. They know you're going to make stuff right, or they will go to bat for you. So you don't have to do it as much.
As Ron Stanfield used to say, it's a piss poor dog that don't wag his own tail. And I really honestly believe that to a degree, but you are not the most liked person in the waterfowl business because people are jealous. And that happens to a lot of people. Me and Andy catch a lot of shit, and we're not near as famous as Ashur Tolliver is.
Not even a fraction.
But we catch a lot of shit, and I get some hate mail and stuff, and I don't debate over stuff. If someone's got something bad to say about Stanfield hunting or me, I just let it go because it's not worth it. How you've said now you don't argue as much and debate with them. Do you ever wrote down some shit then delete it because it's just not worth it and just say fuck it, I'm going to bed?
Man, it just depends on what it is. Used to, kind of like I said, I would get more engaged with stuff that maybe wasn't as big a deal, and now it's stuff that's maybe more personal. And one thing that I don't mind people directing stuff towards me. It's what I signed up for from the beginning. I've always been very vocal and out there with Dive Bomb, so I'm okay with wearing stuff that maybe I'm not even responsible for. A lot of people, they think I'm in the warehouse shipping their packages. I was the FedEx guy that lost their package. I was the guy that maybe didn't return an email in a timely manner around the holidays. Maybe the guy that developed a product or the new idea for the product that stepped on the toes of the company that they liked. And because I'm the one putting it out there, right? I'm, the marketing guy and the guy people are seeing and hearing from. So you just direct everything, all your issues with this company at this individual that is probably going to see it, right? If you have a problem with Tyson Chicken and you had a bad experience at Buffalo Wild Wings, you're probably not going to call up John Tyson. He's never going to see your complaint. Not saying I'm anywhere on that level. But if you can reach somebody, a representative of that company, you're going to voice your complaints and your concerns. And I'm typically the guy that people know that they can reach, and that I'll see it because they know I've been active on social media for a lot of years. That's part of my job, is interacting with the customers and the fan base and supporting our brand and alleviating concerns or taking care of people or whatever it may be. So yeah, at times you're kind of like, you see stuff and that's directed at you and you're thinking, man, like this is kind of rough. This isn't maybe even something that I've had anything to do with, but I would never be the type, being a former athlete, like one thing you do is you don't throw people under the bus. You just, whether it was yours or it wasn't yours, you just take accountability for it and you address it if necessary. you feel like it's necessary, and then you move on. But no, not very often will I type something out and delete it. Pretty quickly, I know, like, yeah, this is probably something that we don't want to spread, or something that's not right, or this didn't go the way it went, because I'm sitting here looking at the chain with customer service, and I'm reading this person's responses, and what they're telling everybody out there on social media is, well, it's just a lie. It's not true. It didn't happen the way they said it happened. So there will be some things that I might respond to if I know, like, man, that could actually hurt if some people see that, because I still like to think that, it's still a very, very small crowd, and things can have impacts on other people. And even if one person sees it and they get the truth, then that's fine. But then there's other stuff you see that circulate around for years and years and years and years. And you're like, this has been going around forever. If you haven't taken the time to do your own research to get the true story and want to keep talking about it, you can only correct somebody so many times, and you're just going to let it go. So it just depends on the situation.
Because I have done that. I have been late at night and I've wrote big ass deal, and then you delete it and thought, well, it was 10 minutes wasted. And by the time I get done writing it anyways, I'm usually like, you really got to get under my skin to make me just go off for a long time, where usually by the next morning I'm over it. But also, people bitching it, that's the greatest flattery.
You're going to have to argue back and forth.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to have to argue back. So then you're thinking about not just this one, but then when they respond the next day, and then I get caught, we don't have time to go back and forth, because we're never going to see eye to eye on this, honestly, on some of this stuff. So why spend the time writing out the message when they're going to write something back their way? You're going to write something back your way. What did you really accomplish by even replying in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all have wonderful customer service, exceptional customer service, and I think most people know that. And I think that it's kind of like the old grocery store, or the mom and pop. You can go to a mom and pop restaurant and have one thing go bad, and you'll rip the shit out of them. But you go to McDonald's and they can fuck up your order every day, and you don't ever say a word. Y'all do really great. 99.9% of the stuff's going to be it. 1%, something's going to happen. One of the things that really impressed me was when we first got to know you real well, a group of guys took advantage of y'all on a donation y'all did on some stuff, and a guy was selling stuff that he wasn't supposed to be selling. And instead of grilling that guy like I did, you kept it under wraps, and I thought that was really professional of you. Yeah, do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You kept that under wraps, and you done a lot better than me. I would have grilled the son of a bitch. Like right now, if you want to bring his name up, we can talk about him, because it still pisses me off. But you done a really good job of handling that, and I was respectful of that.
Yeah. No, it's some things there's nothing to gain. Some things there's just nothing to gain, and I try to always keep myself out of it. Not myself or my own pride, but dive bomb. Like, what does dive bomb have to gain or lose from something? Like, dive bomb's not me. There's over 40 people that are involved with dive bomb. So every decision we make on the marketing side, or the stuff that everybody sees, or any side really, whether it's a decision Cody makes, or engineer Tommy, or operations with Aaron, or customer service with Kyle, any decision that anybody makes doesn't just affect them. It affects everybody. So you've got to look out for the whole company and every department with every decision you make. And with marketing, it's especially highlighted, because all the material that you put out there is everything that everyone sees, or the way that you are representing your company, whereas other stuff people might not know because it goes on behind closed doors. But with marketing and the way you market products and the way you put it out there, that's the way that you portray your company to the people that are following you. So you've got to make sure that you're, doing a good job of putting off the right message.
I like that you keep receipts. That's the thing. Like, one of the most recent one I saw was somebody was like, well, I emailed a week ago and hadn't got a response. And then, like, screenshot 10 seconds later, you mean this reply? That was 30 minutes after this original email got sent out? Oh shit. I got buried in my inbox. You were just trying to fucking make me look like an asshole on social media, and the reply was almost instant.
Time to time you do it, especially if it's directed like right at you, or you find it's like a disrespectful shot directly toward maybe you, especially if it's something I wasn't even responsible for, or I know the department did what they were supposed to do. And if they didn't, if I would have looked that up and saw they didn't, that message would have gone straight to that department. Be like, guys, what do we do? And you got to reach out to this guy and make it right. But when I see everybody did what they were supposed to do, it's like, man, you can't just treat people wrong or unfairly. Like the internet allows you to do things and just get away with being whoever you want to be every single day and be kind to people. Like give people a chance to make things right. Like, I don't know, like what happened to just like being nice to people? Like there's a time to be mean and ugly to people. I get it. I've done it. I do it. But wake up and try to choose to be kind to people. Don't just wake up and choose to be a prick for no reason.
Yeah, that's what the internet has allowed. It's allowed people to be a prick with no consequences.
There's a lot of guys.
No immediate consequences, I guess I should say.
They got computer balls, but they don't have them in real life.
Sure.
A lot of them people that are tough guys on computer wouldn't say shit to your face. Had a guy give you a compliment though at Squad Fest 2 years ago. I was walking by and we were talking. He was a podcast guy and hunts dive bomb. He said, I met Ashur today. I said, did you? He said, yeah. He said, he's a whole lot different person than he seemed to be on the internet. I said, what do you mean? He said, he's really a nice guy, likable. He said, I always wondered how he got that beautiful wife he's got. And then I met him and talked to him and your wife was there. I said, that's her right there. He said, yeah. He said, I was always confused how he got her. I said,
smooth talker, man.
I said, well, he played pro baseball and he had a lot of game.
No, I mean, somebody could come up and say something on my face. Probably will at some point. What am I going to do? I'm not going to do it. I'm a representative of this company. I'll be like, dude, beat it. Like, okay, cool. I'm sorry you're unhappy. Go take it to somebody else, whatever. But if you like dive bomb and you're cool with that, man, I'll sit there and, dude, I'll chop it up with you all day. Like, let's talk waterfowl. Let's talk life. I mean, I think a lot of people would give anybody the time of day if they're interested and want to chat and it's a good conversation. Let's talk. Somebody doesn't like me, okay, come up and tell me. You don't think I haven't experienced that in my career prior to dive bomb at a much more intense level? Yeah. You don't think I've had people screaming in my face or writing on Twitter or Facebook, how sorry you are, how big of a piece? Come on, it doesn't bother me. Get right in my face and tell me you hate me. Okay, see ya. I don't care. You're not, doesn't affect me none. But you like dive bomb and like what we stand for and want to talk, let's talk. I'll talk your ear off. I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll tell you that. Like, I go and shut up. He's really passionate about this stuff.
Y'all have coolers coming out now, soft coolers?
Man, Jeff, we've had soft coolers for years.
But I saw them advertised. So you've got your soft coolers. Summertime, are y'all just busy as hell with those right now?
Yeah, they do awesome. The whole drinkware lineup just crushes, man. It does really, really good. And, that's what's been fun with dive bomb is obviously it's still going to be a very, very seasonal business because it's waterfowl. Our bread and butter is decoys and blinds and tech gear, field accessories, all things that you use mostly between the months of, September and February. So very, very heavily weighted seasonal business, quarter 3, quarter 4, early quarter 1. But it's nice having some products that are a little bit more relatable to this time of year. I mean, we still sell stuff this time of year. It's not like people are just completely don't or won't buy stuff. I mean, it's still good. But when you've got products that you can really market that are relatable to the time of year, it's like the EVAP lightweight rain shell. Like I use that all spring fishing. It's very, very rainy in the spring fishing and you get caught in storms. I keep it in the hatch of my boat. It's very marketable for this time of year. The coolers, the drinkware, the tumblers, the jugs, we filled up our jug and took it to the ballpark this weekend and used that to refill the kids' little bottles. So it's nice having expanded on our line of products and being able to get outside of just the seasonality of waterfowl.
So we're going to see a lot of marketing on the cooler between now and 4th of July, probably.
I mean, we're still going to market waterfowl. I mean, that's what we do. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see some stuff. We'll do some marketing on some products that we think is appropriate for the time of year, but we're still going to be hot and heavy waterfowl. I mean, I posted honkers or Canada geese or something yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, we're not just going to blow it up every day, because you can't just overload people with stuff. You can only put stuff in front of people so much. We try to find that blend between being organic and putting just good, solid content, enjoyable content for somebody to watch, whether they're laying in bed or taking a dump, whatever you're doing.
A lot of
Two,
shopping then.
Two, selling stuff with advertising to people that have commercial intent. So we try to find that blend. We don't want to get too adsy and always be selling something, but we can't just post all organic videos and not move product. So just trying to find that middle ground, and then products that apply for certain times of year, push them a little hotter and heavier. September, probably see more Honker, stuff, and just kind of evolve with the seasons and what the sales and the numbers and the analytics are telling us to do.
I seen a guy at a Home Depot in Wichita the other day wearing a dive bomb t-shirt. Saw
Which one?
Hell, it was the shirt of the month. I talked to him. Real nice guy. Nice kid. He lived.
Why can't I see you on camera?
Because Andy's the face. I'm the talent.
There he is, way over there, hiding out.
You see me over there? Does it bother you that you can't see me?
No.
Okay.
I was just.
I've never noticed you really check me out while we're talking in person, so I didn't really think you'd care.
I figured you had a fancy setup where when that person started talking, it.
No. It just does that on the final product. You can't see it now.
Comes on our show and now just ripping on our damn studio and stuff and how low class we are. Kind of hurts.
Well, I wonder if we could.
Let's don't storm into this. We're good.
No, that would be. I'll dive into that.
Thank you, Asher.
I'll check that out.
Make me more relevant.
Get Jeff a little bit more things to do here.
Anyways, and then I see a couple of guys, local guys that wear the Dive Bomb t-shirts at a lot of events. I see different people, and they're both members of the Shirt of the Month. So, anyways, people are using your stuff.
Out and about. I'll go out of my way anywhere that I'm at if I see somebody wearing Dive Bomb. Third base coach, a team that was playing ahead of us this weekend, had on the blackout American flag hat. Went over to the dugout. Hey, man, I like your hat. He's like, oh, I see y'all's jerseys. That's awesome. And, I appreciate this.
Did he know who you were?
I think so. I think he did. But I was like, hey, man, we appreciate the support and purchasing the product and wearing it, and means a lot. We talked a little bit about hunting, but yeah, I mean, if I see anybody anywhere, I was in Destin, Florida last year. Saw a guy with a Shirt of the Month, and anywhere, airport or whatever. Hey, man, that's awesome. You got our backpack on. That's pretty sweet. Talk to them about hunting, where they're going, where they've been, where they hunt. And try to make sure that whether it's in person or social media, hey, thank you very much. This means a lot. This is our life. Every penny that you spend with us, it's helping us. It's going back into the company and product development and giving us some cash to be able to do some more creative things that hopefully everybody loves. We've got a lineup of amazing products coming just because the companies continue to grow so far beyond silhouettes. But it all started with all the people that supported us with the V2 candidates, and hoping people know that no matter what size we get, whether your sport was in the beginning or now, it means a lot, and it allows us to create exciting new positions, jobs, and we've hired, golly, in the last year, some really, really high positions, like high leverage spots, with really, really good salaries, putting people in positions that are really specialized at this stuff. That's one thing that's cool about growing is you see it evolve from few people wearing just tons of hats and really being in areas that aren't really like they're right in their wheelhouse, to being able to bring people on board that have real experience in certain areas that you really need to be able to expand and grow, and getting somebody that's really, really qualified rather than wearing a whole bunch of hats and say, hey, this is the hat that you're going to wear for this company. And the support from our followers and customers and everybody else is what's allowed us to be able to do that and continue to pump out really high quality products and products that are really being put through some extreme processes and premium materials and the construction and stuff that goes far beyond my scope of knowledge that these people really excelled in prior to their time at Dive Bomb. But being able to bring people on like that and see the end result go out into the field, it's been pretty sweet too. So yeah, it's all the support all the way through it's been amazing. It's allowed us to do some really, really cool things.
You said y'all are up to like 40 members on the Dive Bomb in the and the team, basically? That's what you said? What was it like your first year? Was it you, Cody, obviously?
I was Cody's first employee.
But was it just the two of you, or was there somebody else in there also?
Well, I was his first employee for Dive Bomb, and then he had his other company that was Pacific Rim Direct, that had, maybe an operations manager, shipping manager, something, and they just kind of, Dive Bomb was so small, they just kind of like doubled down and would help, But yeah, I did all the customer service and stuff once I came aboard. Now, Cody's girlfriend, Blair, she was helping with a lot of the social media stuff and emails and stuff before I came along. But once I came along, did it all except, obviously Cody was still handling the product development and working with manufacturers. And then I was doing everything on the marketing side and the customer service side. And then the people that were with Pacific Rim, which is not like the volume was that much, ship a couple, some silhouettes here and there, a few socks. But it started out, I was his first employee for Dive Bomb, and now we've got multiple engineers and graphic designers and operations manager, apparel managers, line managers, customer service managers, people that work under them in every single department. It's been awesome.
I got a question about Squad Fest. Squad Fest is the same Saturday as the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. You can have it up.
Is that right?
You can have it up that night up there.
What time's that fight?
Hell, probably 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock if I'm guessing. Y'all will be done by then, won't you?
We're done.
That's it. Tyson Jake. I'll see if I can find it.
So
it's gonna be on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a Netflix deal that night.
Yeah, we're done. 5 o'clock, 8 to 5.
Well, I didn't know if y'all had a band that night or not.
No, we're going in and out this year. We're gonna go later on Friday. So Friday we had been starting earlier. This year we're gonna start at noon, and we're gonna run till later. Give more people time to get off work, or people that are commuting, or take half a day, get there and enjoy it, not have to take a full day Friday. And then Saturday we'll start early, go 8 to 5, and wrap it up. But normally what we did Friday, we did the live music Friday night, but this year the Retriever Combine's gotten huge. That's become the biggest event there, and we've expanded that. That's what everybody wanted to see and do more of, see more from, and we've expanded that, and it's going to be 2 days now. So that'll start Friday afternoon, evening, late afternoon, evening, and the first two events will go Friday afternoon, and then championship Saturday will be the dog jump. So everybody will be able to kind of see where they stand, where they line up. Where before everything just kind of not ran together, but you kind of, it's not like everybody knew exactly what they needed to do to win or be in the top 5, because it all just happened so fast. Where now it'll kind of be like golf going into, the Sunday round, as people can say, okay, like, this is where we need to be. And we'll be able to set it up the last day where the leaders will be able to go at the end, so they know, like, this is what their jump needs to be to place in the top 5 or to win the whole thing. So that should be really, really exciting. And that combine just takes a lot of time. And we went from 30 to 50 dogs. And so we bumped that back to 2 days. And then, the music's been wonderful. I mean, Justin and those guys, the band, they've done a great job. But it's so hot, and, maybe it'll be 80 degrees this year. That'd be amazing if it is. But, it's so hot by the time you get that late in the day. If people's been there all day, and a lot of people are pretty worn out, they want to go back and shower. And a lot of people still want to go out there, at like Westport, or go out to dinner. And, so we kind of wanted to make it where people could, wrap it up, shower up, and then kind of go out and be ready to come the next day, and not feel like you're getting any FOMO or missing out on anything if you don't stick around after. So, I mean, it's not like 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock that night. We'll just shut it down. Like, people want to hang out and talk and chat. We'll still be around for a little bit, but we don't want to make it like, people's, you can't go and you're really like missing out on something. You can really be ready for the next day and go kind of do what you want to do. Like I know there's people coming town, there's certain restaurants they want to hit, but they also don't want to miss out on stuff going on at Squad Fest. So, we want to try to make it where people can, especially that are coming from out of town, can try to enjoy or maximize the time they have there in St. Louis.
I tell you what, the Westport Social has to see a big spike that weekend.
Oh boy.
I've never been to St. Louis any other time, but any time the times that I've gone, the Westport Social, it's packed. They need to send you guys a thank you card.
Yeah, they probably crush. I mean, all the time. I don't know, but yeah, I'm sure they spike.
That is,
they got a bunch of amateur drunks there that weekend for sure.
Ooh, boy,
it's busy.
If you really want to make it like golf, you'll arrest the guy that's in the lead for that last day. It can be like Scotty Scheffler this last weekend. That's what you got to do. Just as the guy's pulling in with his dog, whoever's leading, just have him arrested and take him to the pin and get booked.
That's right.
It'll be a whole lot like golf then.
Where did he end up finishing?
Second or third?
No, I think he got like sixth.
Oh, did he?
I think so. I don't think he was second or third. He was back 3 or 4 or 5.
He was lead. I mean, he was tied for the lead going into that last day.
Who won?
Oh, Shoffley.
Yeah, Shoffley. But I mean, you're not going to rattle that fucking guy. He's a professional golfer. I'll see if I can find it. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he finished. He was in the top though. Yeah, he finished 8th.
I've never been to a golf tournament in life, and Chandler invited me and Michelle to come to the Byron Nelson, and I think it's this weekend. I don't think I can go. I got too much stuff going on because it's when y'all are in the Bahamas. But I think it would be interesting to watch for a little bit, but I just don't care about walking up and down with all those damn people. It just does not seem like I would enjoy it that much other than watching Chandler play.
That's a long ass day.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you just sit on a hole, don't you?
I don't have a clue. I've never done it. I think you can follow your golfer you want to follow.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I've never been.
I saw they kicked one guy out. I guess at the Masters they have a no run policy, and a guy was like trying to get ahead of everybody. And he like kind of huffed it a little bit, got his ass and threw his ass straight out of the tournament.
They say the best eye candy in the world is at a PGA event. They say it's better than a Target in a fancy part of town.
Sure, everybody's trying to get that paycheck.
Yep.
All these women.
Yep.
Got a bunch of guys that's got a lot of money. A lot of older guys with a lot of money got on their second wife.
Shit, some in third and fourth.
You got to keep trying.
20 years.
I got a buddy of mine that's been married 5 times, and he called me not long ago to tell me he was getting married again. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, I just don't like being alone. I said, well, fuck, you also obviously don't like half your shit. He's got a lot of money, but he just gets married. It's like every year and a half he gets married, and the old one turned out to be, she's just met a gold-digging whore. Well, yeah, you're 72 and she's 41. What do you think she's after there? I mean, Jesus. I mean, let's be pretty damn, let's be honest about this shit. I don't blame you for what you're doing.
Right.
And I don't blame her for what she's doing. But it's a transaction is all it is.
It's a means to an end for the both of y'all.
Yes, that's it. She's hoping she's going to marry you and you're going to die, and then she can go marry who she wants and spend all your money.
I started an interesting series. It's on Peacock. It is the Bronx Zoo. It's about the 1990 Yankees. Evidently, they were a fucking train wreck.
The 1990 Yankees. Who would have been on it? Was Jason Giambi on that team?
No. It was a bunch of like misfits. Andrew Hawkins was one of their pitchers.
Was Jay Buhner on that team that they traded?
No, this was just Mel Hall. He married, or he was dating a 15-year-old.
Huh?
Moved in with her. He got arrested for
child sex.
Yeah, like he's in the pen now. They lost. A guy threw a no-hitter and they lost 4-0. Like, that's how big of a shit show the 1990 Yankees were.
I guess I don't remember.
Steinbrenner was on his 18th manager in 17 years.
Yeah, but Billy Martin was 3 of those.
What do you mean?
He came back. I think Billy Martin coached the Yankees 3 different times.
See, I think he died before this season started. He was going to bring him back again, and he packed.
Hey, you know who else was on that team? Deion Sanders.
Yes, he was.
That's what I'm looking up right now. I was looking up the 1988 or 19.
They had
the 1990, right?
The 1990 Yankees. They had a stud, and evidently Steinbrenner was quite a prick with some of his players and call them out for unnecessary things. So they had one guy I just watched this last night. I should remember his name. But anyway, they tried to trade him, but he had the 10-5 rule. He had been in the league 10 years, 5 with the same team. So he got to veto.
No trade clause.
He got to veto any trade. So like Steinbrenner would trade him. He'd be like, no, I'm not going there. And he did that for like 2 years. And then finally he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll go. He ended up going to the Angels. But they signed a big free agent.
Don Mattingly, Steve
Mattingly.
Sachs. Oh, he was not a free agent. He grew up a Yankee.
Let me see him.
They got Jimmy Liritz, Roberto Kelly, Jesse Barfield, Steve Balboni.
I think it was Mattingly.
Mattingly was there forever.
I know, but he was going into free agency, and Steinbrenner wouldn't give him a deal.
Oh, okay.
And then he gets hurt right away.
Steve Balboni.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Johnny Hamcheck on Instagram?
No, does he make fun of Balboni?
Just go watch a couple videos. Just do me a favor. Look up Johnny Hamcheck. You'll love him. He walks up to people like they're old pals or they like he knows them, and it like really confuses people. And he starts throwing these names out there. He's like, I don't want to mess it up for you. Just go watch a couple of videos. You'll be crying. There's some of them that are so dang funny. But Steve Balboni is one of his. He's like, oh, you work for Steve Balboni. That's kind of one of his go-to names that he uses on there. But yeah, go watch a couple. Let me know what you think. You'll like.
You think about Steve Balboni though. Not everybody knows who he is, but this name they've heard it, and it's a name you remember. So you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that name before. He looked like a fucking lawn guard manager at Home Depot is what Steve Balboni looked like. Dave Winfield, one of the greatest athletes of all time, was on that team.
Yes, him. That's the guy that had the no trade clause.
Yeah, he was
him and Steinbrenner, they were like, so he signed a 10-year deal with the Yankees, and Steinbrenner got duped. He thought it was for $15 million. He didn't realize that there was a clause in there that had an increase for cost of living. So it ended up being 10 years for 25. So like day one, Steinbrenner finds that out, and he's trying to fucking trade Dave Winfield like day one. And anyway, that lingers on for a whole decade. And they signed, here it is, Pascal Perez. They signed him as a free agent, and he's like, I'm not going to training camp. I'm not going. So like it gets to be like 2 days before opening day, and he's like, all right, I'll show up. Well, Steinbrenner was taking heat in the media, so he had this guy throw like a bullpen to the media to show like, hey, he's here. And he threw like 100 pitches, like getting off the couch. And April, he throws out his shoulder. So he's out for the year. Perez did. But it was all because Steinbrenner didn't want to take an L to the media. So he's like, nope, he's here. We're going to show you what he's got. And then 2 or 3 starts later, he's out.
I think Dave Winfield was an All-American football player at Minnesota, basketball player. I think he was all Big Ten basketball, All-American tight end, and an All-American baseball player at Minnesota. He was a hell of an athlete.
But anyway, it's called the Bronx Zoo. It's an interesting watch. I did not realize they were such a debacle.
And Louis Poloni was on that team, and he got in trouble. That's the one that was with 15-year-old girl, I bet.
No, it was Mel Hall.
Didn't Louis Poloni also get in trouble for some kind of deal with the underage girls or strippers? I know he did when he was playing with California, maybe after the Yankees. Interesting time.
Days ago, the former Boston Red Sox guy got stung up trying to meet up a 14-year-old girl.
Saw that.
I saw that last night also.
They came out of that door. They bum rushed that guy. I saw the mugshot or whatever. It looked like they roughed him up pretty good, which they should have. Well, I think, was there one in Arkansas where the guy pulled out a gun and he got shot in the hotel?
Man, I don't know. I hadn't heard about it.
I think it was. I'll find the video.
What did so y'all's basketball coach left to go? Did he go to Kentucky?
No, he went to, golly, for anybody that looked, I don't know why I just noticed it, but my kids play pen, and we're not disgusting people. That's my kids' playroom, and it's just bad. So anybody that sees that comes to look disgusting human. I'm really not. Should have blurred that out. He went to Eric Musselman went to USC.
Okay, that's where it was.
And Cal left Kentucky
to come to Arkansas. That is either going to be an excellent hire for y'all, or one y'all are really regretting in 2 years.
Dude, have you seen the squad that he's brought in?
No, it's basketball. Other than Caitlin Clark, I don't pay attention to that shit at all.
Dude, they're going to be tough.
He's a great recruiter, but he didn't do much. The people from Kentucky were very happy he left, a lot of them. But
they ran him out of there, man.
Yep.
They ran him up. They sure did. We're glad to have him. He's getting paid a lot.
Now, where'd y'all?
He's got a lot of NIL money to play with too. JB Hunt and Walmart, Walton, Tyson,
Jerry Jones,
Gary Jones, a lot of NIL money. Yeah, he got picked up the number one transfer in the portal from FAU. They're going to be solid, man.
I saw where Jerry Jones offered every kid that was going to go to Kentucky with Calipari that he would pay double for them to come to Arkansas.
Damn.
Maybe.
That's what we're dealing with college basketball now. What's y'all's football situation? Did y'all change coaches again there?
Well, no, they kept Sam Pittman, but they brought in Bobby Petrino, brought him back.
He's a good coach.
Last was the motorcycle incident. Some people were happy. Everybody loved Bobby. Bobby won a lot, and that was the last time we had any relevancy at all. And some people were upset about it. Some people were happy about it. I think this is Sam Pittman's, like, everybody thought he was going to get fired, but when they brought in Bobby, that kind of bought him some time. I think they want to see what Petrino can do with the offense for a year. But if they don't win this year, I'd be pretty certain that Sam Pittman will be out.
Petrino's a good coach. You can just keep him off the secretary. He's a damn good offensive coach.
Yeah.
Really good. What happened to that kid that played quarterback for y'all? A big old black kid from Texas. He was good.
Yeah, he left. He went to I think he went with Gus Malzahn at UCF.
Did he play there a lot? Did he start?
No, I'm saying I think that's where he just transferred.
Okay, he was a good football player. I thought he was going to be NFL material, and he kind of fizzled out the last year or so.
Yeah, transferred to UCF.
Okay, well, he was good, though. A lot of talent there.
Yeah, good player, tough player.
Have you met the kid that played wide receiver there? Because he's a Hunter that was at Arkansas that's at Tennessee, was a first-round draft pick. And I can't think of his damn name right now.
He was at Arkansas?
He was at Arkansas, and he was a wide receiver, and he was a first-round pick at Tennessee 2 years ago, and then he got hurt last year some. I mean, Tennessee's got him, Calvin Ridley, and Hopkins for their wide receivers. Will Levis might have a really good year. He could be a big sleeper.
You're talking about Burks.
Yes, Traylon Burks.
No, I don't know him. I know some people that know him.
Yeah, he's a Hunter, so I didn't know if maybe you knew him or not.
Yeah, no, I don't. Great talent, though.
Yeah, there it is, Traylon Burks. I thought you were meaning like to play for I thought he was in the transfer portal. When you said Tennessee, I didn't know.
No, I meant Tennessee pro team.
When he said Calvin Ridley, then I went to the NFL, but in my mind, I was thinking the Volunteers as well.
Yeah, the others.
I was like, I don't know that we had any first rounders that left us and went to the Volunteers, but
yeah, the other team in the SEC that wears orange with a T that will not win a championship because it's going to go to Austin, Texas for the next 2 or 3 years.
No,
the championship's going to go to Austin,
Texas. Right now, the University of Texas is going to win 2 out of the 3 next SEC championships. They have replaced Alabama. Alabama hired a new coach. Is not going to be like Saban. He can't get onto those kids and do that shit that Saban did. He won't get the talent that Saban had. Those kids are coming to Texas now. Texas is loading up where every kid that's a backup's a 3, 4, 5-star recruit. Every one of them now.
Boys over in Athens.
That's going to be our competition. But I'm Texas is going to win 2 of the next 3. Athens got a good program too.
Jeez.
There's no doubt Georgia's awesome. Go Dogs. But
Oklahoma is going to be good.
They're going to be good. They're not Texas and Oklahoma going to SEC is not going to. All the Big 12 people that were happy to see Texas and Oklahoma leave are like, oh, they're going to struggle over there. I don't think they're going to. And
no, they're going to get more recruits.
Yeah,
going to the SEC.
Yes, and
they're better in recruiting.
The 5-star and 5-4, the kids that legitimately look like they'll be able to play in the NFL are going to want to go to those schools. Not the kid that looks like he's going to be a college star, but the kid that really, really has got the body and the build to be an NFL player with the right things. Those kids are going to be going. And I think it's good for the Big 12 because Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, TCU, those schools, Utah, one of those schools is going to be really, really, really good every year and going to get a chance to be in the big dance all the time.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you that Texas is going to be a major, major force.
Yeah, I mean, you look what they did. They had 4 people or 5 people taken in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft, and they're loading. They just reloaded. I mean, they got a lot of talent now. Sarkisian's done a really good job. I like Charlie Strong. I was not a fan of the dickhead from Ohio State. I'm not a big fan of Sarkisian all the time. He's done a good job though, and he's recruited really well. And if our defense would have played worth the shit against Washington, we'd have beat them. But that Penix kid's freaking lights out.
Yeah,
that kid was.
The main thing they're going to have to get used to is there's no breaks.
Nope.
You know, like week in and week out, man. I mean, it's just that schedule is there's no breaks, and if you just don't show up, there's teams in that league that can beat you when you're beating other teams when you didn't show up. You know, there are teams, mid-level to lower-level teams in that league. If you do not show up, you'll be better on paper, and you should beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns. But I'm telling you, there are these teams like Arkansas and South Carolina and Mississippi State that if you do not show up, they can beat you, and they can run your season real quick. Whereas your threats aren't only just – you don't just have those 3 games circled on your calendar every year now. You're still going to have those 3 games and those teams that you know, like, hey, these are it. Like when we're looking at our schedule, these are those games that's going to be the difference in us, you know, playing for a title or not. But you got to show up every week in this league. I say this league in the SEC because you've got teams that will beat you. If you do not play well, they will beat you. Whereas in the past, you can get away with not playing well, actually playing very poorly and still win some games because, you know, teams just top to bottom, they're just not as good in the conference. Nobody can argue that. Top to bottom, I mean, I know, you know, Michigan won a title and that was great, but top to bottom, I'm sure people argue, but I don't think you can argue top to bottom that there's a conference that even comes close to the SEC.
In every sport, basketball, football, baseball, girls softball, girls basketball, the SEC is the best. And I'm not an SEC guy at all, but they top to bottom in all them sports. If you look, they're always in the middle of it. The Big 12 had one school like you were talking about, and everybody's going to laugh at this, but when you went to Lubbock, Texas, if you didn't play good, you were going to get beat.
that's right.
Texas,
no doubt.
Texas,
They are
Oklahoma.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're the spoilers, baby.
In Lubbock. On the road, no. But if you go to Lubbock, Texas and play,
We're spoilers.
it's a different team. They're 3 touchdowns better in Lubbock, Texas than they are anywhere else. And you get that in the SEC more other than maybe playing Vanderbilt. You know, I would say Vanderbilt's the only off team in football right now.
They're pretty bad. But, you know, like even Arkansas, like we'll play LSU on years, you know, over the last, say, 10 years they would be ranked 1, 2, you know, right there at the top of the SEC West, and we'll find a way to knock them off, or we will take them down to and we'll have won 2 games in the league, 1 game. But man, there's just certain games and certain teams they just show up for, and that's one thing that they'll have to get used to navigating the SEC. You got to show up every week, and I think that's what's so impressive about what Alabama and Georgia have been able to do is just consistently show up and win.
Yeah, that's Nick Saban built the greatest dynasty of all time in college football. I don't care what era you want to go to. What he did for however long he was at Bama, 15 years? It was
long time. Absolutely
incredible. And he built it the right way. I'm sure there was some cheating going on, but every kid wanted to play there because they had a chance to go to the NFL. I mean, the kids that he lost in the transfer portal that are playing in the NFL are crazy. The kids that had left Alabama because they were a 3rd-string tailback. I think the kid that wears all the jewelry in his mouth at New Orleans, Kamara.
Yeah,
he went to Alabama, then transferred to Tennessee. I mean, those kids.
And they had 3 number 1 running backs on their depth chart.
Yeah. And just amazing, but I don't think you're going to see that. The NIL is going to change that because kids it's spreading out this stuff right now. And that's where Texas has been the benefactor is they've got a ton of NIL money, and now they're winning, and people are wanting to go there. Arch Manning, I don't know if Arch Manning ever plays as a starting quarterback at Texas. I don't know how good he is. I have no idea. He's not beating out yours, so he's not as good as yours, I know. But him going to Texas was huge for Texas because it got all them other 5-star kids interested.
Money talks, man. I mean, when you're talking to a 17, 18-year-old kid and you're able to throw money – the whole idea of like growing up and rooting for this team and wanting to play for this team goes out the window when you start involving money, large sums of money. So I totally agree, Jeff. The whole landscape of college sports in general, it's changing. And, you know, a guy like Nick Saban, I think he he got out at the right time. I mean, you've seen his interviews and the way he talks. Like he knew. I mean, he can see this stuff coming. The game is changing, and you're right. I mean, I think the dominance that you probably have seen from some of these teams, and like we were talking about with the SEC and the strength there, we probably are going to see some things start to spread out a little bit more, and some of these surprises coming from these universities that do have some NIL money to play for. Because man, the ability to land recruits now, it's not swooning these kids with the idea of playing at this school or the history or for this coach or what they've done to get these players to NIL or to the NFL, but it's that money. Show me that money, man. And if you got it,
that's going to be, I mean, it's going to be easy. It's going to be easier to recruit if you've got the money, but I don't know. Like at the same time, you got to feel like some of the kids aren't in your program for the right reasons, you know?
There's no doubt about that. But I mean, you can take it a step further and take it to professional sports. Who's playing on a lot of these teams for the right reasons, you know? I mean, it's really different. Just an 18-year-old kid and a 21-year-old kid, you know? I mean, these kids that are, well, I say 21, most of them, you know, they're not reaching free agent, at least in Major League Baseball, until they're, you know, a little older than that. But let's be honest, too. Does everybody want to go play for the Dodgers and the Yankees? Come on.
Yeah.
But they got pretty fat wallets, and show me that money.
I don't understand baseball and their luxury tax. I never have understood that. Have a hard. I think I'm not a big baseball fan, you know that, and there's been some money. Are the Royals pretty good right now? Are they starting to get better again? But
couldn't tell you.
These teams get all this young talent and they develop, and then they lose it because they can't afford to pay for the Dodgers what they'll pay for their fifth pitcher. They can't pay for their first pitcher. So I think baseball should have a solid line, hard cap on their free agency like the NFL does. And I think it would make the sport better because it's the same teams just about every year in there in baseball. And I think that would be better to have a hard cap on the deal. But it's crazy the amount of money these people make.
Oof, it's nuts.
The one thing that stuck out in this thing that I'm watching about the Yankees, they made Mattingly the highest paid player, and I think it was like 5 years, $19 million, and he was the highest paid player in the history of baseball.
Jim Kern, my friend, played for the Rangers for a long. He played like for 13 teams. Jim had a year in 1984 where he was the Rolaids relief pitcher of the year, and he had 30 saves, and he had an ERA under 2, and he struck out so many people. And I mean, his whip was amazing. Everything about him was good. If he was pitching today, he would be making $15-20 million a year. I think he maybe made $1 million a year at the best contract he ever had. So look at Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is going to be an unrestricted free agent after this year. If the Cowboys go 2-14 or 2-15, or they win it all, he's going to command on the free agent market $65 million a year. Even if he does shitty, someone's going to pay him $65 million a year. The guy has won 2 playoff games in his career.
It's a lot of money.
But he has got the Kirk Cousins leverage. He's at the right spot at the right time.
So with baseball, it's your contracts are dictated by how much money your owner has, basically.
Well, whoever team can do it can afford to pay more.
The team, these TV deals are so big. A lot of these TV deals these teams have are just insane. And I mean, different teams. I mean, you look at like the Oakland A's. I saw something where the A's, it was showing their whole payroll, and it's like one player on some of these teams. You know, it's crazy. You know, like how can you win doing that? You know, like there's a reason that you've got teams that historically. Now, I do think I haven't looked into it that much. Honestly, I don't follow it that much. I think there are penalties now. You know, like there's salary cap penalties, and I think there's the reason that you're seeing a lot of these contracts structured the way you're seeing them. It's because people are trying to stay under. I think there's salary caps, but I don't know if they lose draft picks or I don't know. You might have to look into it a little bit more, but I think there are some restrictions, but I don't think it. If a contract is structured in a certain way, I don't think it's really holding anybody back. Any of these big markets that have the money to spend, like LA and New York.
This says Major League Baseball is the only major American or Canadian professional sport that does not have a salary cap.
Yeah, they've got a luxury tax they pay if they get.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about, a luxury tax.
That's what it says. Here's another article. Does MLB have a salary cap? Here's how the luxury tax similar to it, I guess. I'd have to read it.
Like the Yankees payroll might be $250 million and the Vegas might be 35. And I'm assuming the A's, they're moving to Las Vegas after this year. I'm assuming when they go to Las Vegas, whoever the owner is going to spend money and try to be competitive because they are absolutely terrible now.
It says owners can shell out as much cash as they'd like as long as they don't mind paying the luxury tax. So that's what kind of keeps them in check, I guess.
Gotcha.
So put your pitching hat on for just a second, because I saw this video today, actually this morning. If a guy shows bunt, you're throwing it at his face?
No, I probably wouldn't throw it at his face. I'd throw it at his hands.
But you're going to throw it inside. If he shows bunt early and you know he's going to bunt, you're bunching him up.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an easy pitch to bunt. I might try to throw him something up, try to get him to pop it up or throw it in on his hand. Yeah, I'm throwing it at his face, but yeah, I'll throw it in for sure.
Because there was a video of he was probably a high school kid, and the kid, pitcher's barely on the mound, and the kid shows bunt. And this kid whips it inside and almost hits the kid. And I guess everybody's throwing a fit that, it could have hit him in the head. It could have hurt the kid, blah, 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 blah. And then there was a guy that had done this for a while. And he's like, why would I give him an easy meat pitch over the plate if I know he's going to bunt?
Let him do his job. There's not a lot of difference in that. If that guy's job is to lay down a bunt and move runners over, and somebody else's job is to hit one 450 feet over the fence, are you just going to serve one up right down the middle for a guy to crush one? No, probably not. So why would you, if you've got a job to do to throw up a 0 that inning, get 3 outs without giving up any runs, and maybe you got a guy on deck that's done well against you, or he's made good contact against you, and they're going to move runners over. Why are you just going to give up and let them move a runner over just by throwing the ball over the plate? It doesn't make any sense. That's not baseball. So, no, I don't think you throw it somebody's face. I guess if you wanted to, you could have them pull back and say, hey, don't do that. Maybe. I don't know. That probably wouldn't work very well because guys with good bat control are good enough. You do that too many times, well, then you just hurt yourself because you walked them or you hit them. So you don't want to do that, because if you hit them, well, they not only did they do what they needed to do, but you also put another guy on for somebody behind who they were probably bunting for that's probably hitting pretty good anyway. So you probably didn't accomplish your goal by hitting somebody or walking somebody. But, yeah, if you can throw inside or throw it in a way to get them to pop it up, or, I'd kind of throw it up and slightly in. A lot of times that would get you a really bad bunt right back at you, where you could actually turn and make a forced play at third or second if they're trying to move him to second. But I had lots of times where I wouldn't just give up that base on a bad bunt. I knew in my mind if a guy was going to bunt, I'm going to throw a really, really hard fastball, something I'm going to let him bunt, or something that I think he can bunt, but something that I'm hoping that I throw it in a way that he's going to bunt it hard back to me with my mindset immediately. As soon as I throw that pitch, I'm coming hot off the mound, and I'm going to be athletic, and I'm going to come up firing 2 or 3, and I'm going to get that lead runner or that force out.
And that's what the guy said. He's like, you want to throw it high, that way you're going to get you're more likely to get a pop up this way.
Pop it up, good contact where he tries to really push it, and maybe he shoots one right back to you. I've turned double plays on bunts. I've turned triple play. State championship 2005, my junior year, guy first and second, no out, second inning. Guy tries to lay down a bunt, big power hitter behind him. I throw it hard, middle up, and he bunts kind of a line drive. Both runners take off. I lay out, dive, and catch it. Throw 2, throw 1, out of the inning. We take off, huge momentum shift. I mean, they had it rolling, triple play. But, I've turned double plays, hard bunt, guy on first, they try to bunt. bunts it too hard right back to me, and I'm already turning my body to field, make a throw to second base, boom, throw a dart to short, boom, roll them up, So, I mean, sometimes, yeah, your mindset to let them bunt it, but you've got a mindset for how you want them to bunt it too. And there's times, man, when I was really struggling on the mound, sometimes I was like, shit, okay, give me an out. Thank you. Like I'm glad you're not hitting. Like I'm kind of reeling here right now. So there was a few times in my career where I was kind of struggling a little bit, and I see him square. I'm like,
do it.
Care if it gets. Thank you. Keep us at a 1-run inning as opposed to 4.
But yeah, I think that just shows where we are as society. Like everybody's just going after this poor pitcher, and he's just like, why? The pitcher's got a job to do. Like, why would you want to make the batter's job any easier?
He's got a job. Hey, I got to pee.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I got 2 too.
Jeff's got 2 too. Going to your now you're coaching your kids baseball. Where, and this is probably kind of a loaded question, but like compared to where you were at that age, how are you seeing him develop? Like, because obviously, like he's got kind of a leg up with who you are and your knowledge of baseball and where you've been. So, I mean, he's got more coaching, but what about just raw athleticism?
Raw athleticism, Mav, he's not that kid, like that physical specimen of a kid, because we've got those kids on our team. We've got a pretty impressive little bunch of kids. We've got a bunch of not ball players. We got a bunch of like athletes, man. You could put these kids on a football field, a basketball court. Mav's not that kid. But Mav is very fundamentally sound. He does the little things right. He, just like the other day, we were in the championship game 2 days ago, Sunday, and they had kind of pinched him in on the right side. He hits left-handed, and first baseman was back. Second baseman was over. Right field was in slightly. And at that age, they play 10, so you've got 4 outfielders. They had right center because the at-bat had before he had hit a base hit over, like first baseman's head. So they had kind of pinched in because he's kind of a smaller guy. They had a pretty athletic outfield, and I think they knew they weren't going to get burned. So they kind of had him pinched in, and like immediately, we're not supposed to talk to the pitcher or to the hitters as the coach pitcher. That's supposed to be your guys on the side. You're not supposed to like coach them. And I just kind of like do my hand over here, like he knows, like, hey, let it get deep. Like, let it get deep. Let's drive it to left center. Because I knew if he hits the ball over there, good chance he's probably going to get out. He could probably sting one. He's still going to get out. He's on turf. They're going to be able to make a play. And he lets it get deep, and boom, left center field, base hit, over third baseman's head, between where, like, kind of in the 6 hole. So he's fundamentally sound. He can do stuff like that, but Mav's not that kid. I mean, I don't look through it with daddy eyes. With Maverick, I'm very honest with myself about his level of ability. As a 7-year-old, he's playing on an excellent team. If you put him in league ball, he would be a standout. He'd be awesome. The team that he plays on, travel ball, he plays on. I don't want to go on record and say they're the best 7-year-old team in the state, because there's a team that we haven't played that's pretty solid, but I'll go on record and say that I think anybody you ask would say, who's the best 7-year-old team in the state? Our name is going to come up in conversation as 1 or 2. So, yeah, he's playing on a really, really good team for his age. He's playing with a bunch of kids that are bigger than him. They're faster than him. They're stronger than him. He plays the outfield. He bats toward the bottom of the lineup. And he knows, hey, we got to work. Like, if everybody's going to hit puberty eventually. Like right now, this means nothing. We're 7 years old. Yeah. Right now, they're a little ahead of you. I played with guys like this. I didn't really, really excel till I was about 20, I mean, everybody develops in different stages. And I say, hey, buddy, he understands why he hits toward the bottom. He understands why he plays in the outfield. He knows that, hey, we got to work. Let's be fundamentally sound. We got to run the bases well. We got to do the little things right. We fly balls. We got to look it all the way in. We got to squeeze it with 2 hands. We're probably not going to run and dive and lay out and catch one in the gap, but we got to make the routine play. If it's a ground ball, it's in the outfield. If it's hit hard, we got to take it off our chest. We got to keep it in front of him. Keep a single. Like he does really good at fundamental baseball that I've taught him to be able to make him hang at the level that he plays at. He plays at 7 AAA as our team, but we play up. We play 8 every weekend. We've played in maybe 1 7-year-old tournament this year, maybe 2. So we're playing against good 8-year-old teams. And, to hold his own, he's got to be fundamentally sound, and he is. But Mav's not that kid. He's not that beast of a kid playing shortstop, going and getting it.
Right.
We've got them. We've got those kids on our team. We've got about 8 of them. And he's not that kid. But, boy, I'm proud of him. He works his tail off. We hit all the time. We learn how to place the ball. He does the little things right. And I think that will bode well for his future. When he does grow, he gets stronger and faster. He's never been able to rely on just rolling out of bed and being able to rip the ball across the diamond or just take a big loopy swing and rip it over the outfielder's heads. He can't do that.
Right.
He's not physical.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very aware of that as his dad. And I think once the time comes, if he sticks around and likes the game, I think he's going to be a very, very solid player in the future because of his foundation. My youngest one, Jagger, he'll probably, based on the way he actually turned 3 today. Today's his birthday, but I think it's hard to say. They're 3 years old, just turned 3, but I'm pretty sure he will be that kid at that
second born.
He doesn't listen very well. He's a butthole. He'll be hard to coach, but he's probably going to flat be able to get after it. And the reason I say that, I mean, I can already pitch it to him in the air. I mean, he's got 2 years of developmental T-ball, 1 whole year from now that he hadn't even started. He can already hit it in the air. He's got the fundamentals. I mean, he can bring his hands together and catch a ball where a lot of kids, he'll probably be that kid, he'll probably be that kid that's really, really good on his team. Where Mav, he's more, we got to work, buddy. Like Jagger will be hard to coach. If I won't listen to me, I'll have to get somebody else to tell him how, because he'll probably be the kid that cries and throws a fit when he gets out. Mav's not going to do that. He's going to be like, hey, I'll get him next time. He's the encourager, he's a great teammate. He's such a sweet kid. And I think he's got a long future in baseball, but I don't think Mav will be that guy.
That's how Zach and I were. But Zach just rolled out of bed, just had it. He's a heck of a. Just minimal effort and just maximum output. And then you had me just fucking. I scrapped for every little bit of accolade I got because I wasn't that kid.
Yeah, you were a worker though.
But that's what I'm saying. I had to be a worker. I had to overcompensate.
You got to be. But boy, he knows how proud his dad is of him. And I make sure to let him know it. Like I make sure he knows when he does something good or does something right. I'm hard on him. I'm probably too hard on him, honestly. I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I'm too hard on him. I need to work on myself. I really do. Sometimes it's just hard. You things you've worked on, if they don't execute it, I'm hard on him. I need to be better. I really do. I'll say that straight up. I need to be better. I'm way too hard on him. But I also make sure he knows there's nothing he could ever do in between the lines of a field, a sports field, that could ever change the way I feel about him, the way I look at him, the way we do things together. There's nothing you could do. You couldn't hit 4 home runs out of nowhere, and you could not strike out 4 times and miss 5 fly balls and cost us the game. When we go home and it's over with, it's over with. And it changes nothing. You're a great kid. I love you. I love the work that you've put in, and I love that you want to do well, not only but also for your dad, because it means a lot to your dad too. Let's be honest. Like you can say all you want, like, oh, this isn't about me. This is only about the kids. Why does everybody get so worked up in youth sports? Right. You've got something attached to it. Like part of your ego is attached to it, and it's not because your kid has to be the best kid on the field, because I'm very, very much aware that's not my kid. But you know how much work and effort that they put in outside of the field. Sports are fun when you succeed.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter what sport you play. Baseball is fun when you get a hit, when you catch a fly ball and get a big out. Football is fun to score touchdown. It's fun to throw passes. It's fun to catch it, not hit your hands and drop it. So naturally, your parents get invested in it because if you're doing good, they know you're going to have more fun. It's fun to do well in sports. So that's why we're so invested in it, because we put all this work in on the side. We don't do lessons because I work with my son, but you spend all this money and time and effort of these other parents doing these lessons for your kid to be the best player. Well, you want that to translate on the field because you know that not only does it feel good to be, I'm sure, a parent of that kid to be doing well, but also it feels good knowing that your kid feels good about what they're doing on the field. Like every parent wants best for their kid. You don't want your kid to go 0 for 4 with 4 punch outs. Like, is he happy about that? No, he's going to be sad. He's going to be questioning, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? For your kid, it's 4 bombs. They're on cloud 9. Everybody wants to bomb and, put the chain around their neck and bomb the snow cone. Like, that's fun. So who doesn't want that for their kids? Right. So I get it. Like, I get when people got worked up. I never understood it when I was playing before I got to this level. And I'm like, these parents are idiots. Like, this is crazy. They're 7 years old. They're 8 years old. They're 9 years old. They're 10 years old. Nothing matters until you get to high school anyway, or after you hit puberty. Nobody's getting a scholarship. Nobody's getting NIL money. There's nobody recruiting them. There's nobody coming to look at them for a draft. Why are we so invested in this stuff? And then you get to it and you realize, well, it's more fun for everybody when you're successful. We put a lot of work and effort and money into that $300 Hype Fire Easton bat. We want to find the barrel of the bat. We don't want to hit it off the hand or the end of it. We've got an expensive Marucci glove or whatever it may be. Let's catch the freaking ball when they throw it to you. We've worked on this all week. So I don't know. I could go into a long sports tangent. That's not what this is about. Parents, do we need to do better? Myself included. Parents need to do better. They're young. They're kids. We're driving kids out of sports because of the pressure that we're putting on them. But does it mean a lot? And is it hard to just say, nah, this doesn't mean anything? They're 7. I'd be 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. It'd be stupid to say it doesn't mean anything because it means something to me because it means something to the way it makes my kid feel. And I want my kid to love it. I want him to be happy. And I know if he does good from the work that we put in, the product shows on the field in the game when we need it, he's going to be happy. So that's why it means something to us. It's hard.
What was your upbringing like? Like, was it like when you were doing youth sports? I mean, which kid were you?
Man, I was, as far as the talent was always there. Like, I wasn't big and physical like some of these other kids, so I wasn't able to really drive the ball with authority at a young age. But if you put me on first, man, nothing's getting by me. I'm gonna pick it. If it gets by me, it was over my head or out of reach. But man, I was gonna pick it beyond my years. At 5, 6, I was gonna pick it like a 10 or 11-year-old. So when it came to technical skills, making constant solid contact with the barrel, picking out good pitches and not just swinging, I wasn't going to strike out. I was going to find the barrel. Would I always drive it where I needed to drive it or over their head? No, because I wasn't a huge kid. If you put me on the mound, I was going to throw strikes, so I was that guy when it came to having the technical skills and the ability, the baseball IQ, knowing where to go with the ball before it was ever hit to you. There's no look on your face. What do I do? That was never me. I knew the game. Technical skills were really, really good. But as far as overpowering physical skills, as far as being able to throw really, really hard at a young age when we got to live arm or just blast the ball out of the yard at a young age, no, none of that stuff came along until later on. So I was definitely a well above average youth player, but I wasn't like that phenom kid that had the size and the technical skills.
But what was your dad like?
He's a good athlete. Dad could play anything. Yeah, everything just kind of came natural to him.
But what about to you? When you were coming up little league and then early on, was he the hard dad that put too much into it? And you're like, Dad, why the fuck are you freaking out about this? Just let me be a kid.
No. One thing about when you have different types of athletes, it's a lot easier. I say that. I think it's a lot easier to not be that dad when your kid's really, really good and he just gets it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had to tell me to tag up when it was on third base and the ball was hit to right. I wasn't creeping off and then running back to the bag and then go. I knew before the ball was hit, if it was a line drive, I was going to freeze.
Yeah.
If it was a ground ball and I knew the infield wasn't playing in, I already knew where the infield was playing. So I didn't have to get yelled at that much because my technical ability and skills were really, really good. You know, my mental, I think why kids get in trouble. It's not the physical result that you get. It's the things you can control. And that's your attitude and your effort. Those are really, let's be honest, those are really the only two things that you control, your attitude and your effort. Yeah. And every single game, I love the game so much. While I might not have driven the ball 4 for 4 with 2 homers and 2 doubles, I love the game so much. My attitude and effort, they never needed correcting, ever. Whereas Mav, his physical skills aren't as good, and we're working on his technical skills, where sometimes if he's not giving his very, very best effort, like you said, Andy, when you don't have the physical skills, you have to give your very best effort every practice, every play, every down, every pitch. Whereas when you're the LeBron Jameses and the Mike Trouts of the world growing up in youth ball, you didn't have to because you were that good. Right. So I think but would my dad have been that way? I think he was that way for my older brother that didn't have those. I didn't see it as much because he was 7 years older than me, so I don't remember it that much. But from what I gather from my mom and my dad, probably not quite as bad as me, but it sounded like he was pretty rough on Justin.
At first, so that older kid was taking bombs.
If I did make the mental mistake because I wasn't locked in, I was going to know about it. He was going to be in the cutoff blue jean shorts and the Doc Martens, probably kicking up a storm over on the in the coach's box. Yeah,
I can see that out of him. The cutoff shorts and the Doc Martens.
Yeah, you know Greg. He's a little more. Greg, is a little more chill than the one I grew up with.
Right. Yeah, that's always the amazing part. They become grandparents. You're like, who the fuck are you?
I'm sure Jeff over there was the same way. I'm sure Jeff could cut up if you weren't giving your best effort too, or you had
but now he's all chill around the grandkids and everything, and I'm like, just blowing money at Dollar General. I remember we talked about this last time.
Blowing money at Dollar General.
Blowing money at Dollar General. I wanted VH1 and MTV when I was a teenager, and Jeff wouldn't spend the $5 that it would cost to upgrade our cable. So that's the Jeff I had. Now he's just taking them.
Greg gets on to for the way I
do what?
Greg gets on to me for the way I for the kids.
Yeah.
So my kids, I'm easy on the other kids. I'll correct them and I'll get on them and fix them, but I'm not gonna
eat their lunch. Yeah. You know what you can get by with your own kid.
I'm not gonna eat another kid's lunch on our team, but my kid, yes, I will eat his lunch. If something's out of line, and my dad gets on to me about it. And I'll be the first to admit I got to do better. I mean, I do. I really do.
Nothing wrong with getting on your own kid. Kids need it.
He's like, Asher, you're just too hard on that boy.
November 18th through 20th, you can come out here at the Big Honker Podcast, or Big Honker Lodge, and you can be on the Steel Reserve boss hunt, be shooting over the dive bomb decoys. I know you're a busy man. You're welcome to come out here, Asher. We'd love to have you. November 18th, 19th, 20th. We appreciate you being on here with us today, man.
July 19th and 20th, Squad Fest. Come out there. Look forward to seeing you guys again. Y'all put on a hell of a show, and you guys go above and beyond for everybody that's there.
You guys will have to hop on with Cody sometime before that.
Yeah, we'll get him on like the week before, like we always do.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Asher.
Appreciate you guys.
Always a pleasure, my man. We'll see you in a couple months.
All right, man.
Bye.
Hey, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Ashur Tolliver, boys and girls. It's come full circle for him.
From being a Major League Baseball player.
Professional athlete, professional baseball player.
Coaching youth baseball.
Oof.
We need more dads. All dads should be involved in their kids.
They should.
You need to coach a kid's sport and do something with them. But grandparents, we're out. We should just be there to watch. but
then take them to Dollar
I would
General
not
afterwards.
change any of coaching you three boys growing up ever. I'm glad I did it. I was glad I got to do that.
All right. We're out of here. Love you. Bye. Watch for deer. Go check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Dive Bomb. Make sure you're in St. Louis July 19th and 20th. 30 Duck Coffee, Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, MLR Graphics, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mallard Bay, Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennels, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, and Alpha Outdoor Specialty. And Hemphill Farm.